Now, it's been 4 weeks. The 23rd of March, actually, was when the government shut down non-essential services. And they placed a temporary ban on auctions and open inspections. And essentially, they halted the economy in response to COVID-19. Now, it's important to remember that this is not a financial downturn. Okay? We are in a health crisis which is resulting in productivity challenges. I'm not downplaying the severity of the situation anyway. I'm just calling it for what it actually is here. There's plenty of businesses and plenty of clients that we have businesses that are very healthy and were doing very, very well before the government told them you can't do this anymore. And I feel sorry for those businesses at the moment. I really do. Now, I commend our government, though, at the end of the day, for their quick and significant response to this pandemic. Never in my lifetime have I seen such cooperation between, governments, councils, political parties, and industry bodies. So good on them for doing this. Now, for those of us with short-term memory loss, we have been in this situation before, quite a few times actually, and there have been many global outbreaks and pandemics of viruses like bird flu, swine flu, SARS, MERS, Ebola, Zika virus, etc. Now, this is a history of pandemics. It's a visual history of pandemics. And the yellow highlighted sections show that from 2002 to 2016, pandemics claimed over 215,000 lives. Now, historically, during previous global crises and global outbreaks of illness, the Australian property markets actually remained quite resilient. Now, I'm going to show you plenty of data today which supports that claim, but this, however, is the first global crisis that we've ever experienced, and that's anybody, that's been in the social media age. And we've learned 2 things from this. 1, information spreads incredibly fast. 2, false or sensational information spreads even faster. Now, this graph was updated this morning, the 21st of April, and it shows the total reported cases of COVID-19 across Australia. They're currently 6,636, and the total reported deaths here are 71. Now, this chart represents confirmed cases across the world, and that includes our Australian states as well. And forecasting the virus's global peak is fundamental to determining the time that it's going to take us to return to a state of normality or whatever the new normal is going to be. Now, governments have suggested a minimum 6-month time frame for this virus to be considered under control. Now, it's believed that this will only be achieved under a very strict adherence to stage 2 and stage 3 lockdown guidelines, and the most important of which is going to be social distancing. Now, our view is that 6 months of lockdown is not sustainable. It's just not. Staying at home doesn't agree with everybody. Anyone that has children definitely during the Easter holiday, which we're currently in right now, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Living under strict shutdown measures could lead to some very serious social issues. And in a worst case scenario, civil disobedience or even protests. And we're already starting to see that in places like Brazil and the United States. Now, looking at the Australian confirmed cases graph that's right here in front of you, it's very obvious to us that we reached the virus's peak on the 28th of March. All right, we've now flattened the curve, and it appears that we actually have COVID-19 under control. Australia currently leads the Western world with the lowest amount of confirmed cases, the highest number of tests per 1,000 people, and we also have the lowest fatality rate of infected patients. Now, we believe that the government, intentionally and successfully, might I add, created enough fear to force the extreme actions that were required to get COVID-19 under control. Now, based on our current position, we can seriously consider the possibility of slow-staged easing of lockdown measures probably sometime in June, all right? With Australians mostly all back to business under a new normal, whatever that's going to look like, by the 3rd quarter of this year. So that's still going to be under strict social distancing, which is going to be enforced, I would assume. And I would also assume that we're going to have controlled movement throughout our borders during that time as well. Now, I would be very surprised if international borders open up within 6 months. I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that.